Today's fun fact comes from, so we're doing this show, 1619 Project, and it was spearheaded by Nicole Hannah-Jones. What percentage of Americans do you think have middle names?
Wow, this is a good one. I mean, I'm going to say 75 to 80% of Americans have middle names.
It is 80% have middle names.
Yes, I knew
I thought it was more than that. Like, I thought more people had middle names.
No, so my dad didn't have a middle name.
Really?
And my sister also doesn't have a middle name.
What?
So I am related to two people without one. Yeah.
That is, I don't know that I offhand know anyone close to me without a middle name.
Yeah, sometimes that first name is so strong. You don't need a middle name.
Okay, so next question. What percent of people have at least two middle names?
Oh, this is hard. Wow, I'm going to take it down to 30% of people have two middle names.
Oh, it's only 11%
It's
have
11,
two middle
it's
names.
smaller.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You don't
it's
need
interesting
two.
because, right? No, you don't
You
need
don't.
two. Well, you
No.
don't. Technically, you don't really
You
need
don't even
one.
need
But I was thinking about Nicole Hannah-Jones because that's her pen name.
Right.
Like, she's this. And I guess I was thinking if your name is Nicole Jones,
It's
you do
too
need a
basic.
distinguishing.
You need the Hannah. Yeah.
You need the Hannah. Now, Jobina needs no middle name, but you go by your middle name in some professional circles, right?
I do, in all professional circles. all
in
any circle.
every professional
that has to do
circle
with the
you're
job. Yes.
I use my middle name when I am signing up for websites that aren't the most professional. I'll say it like that.
See, my middle name is for professional use, and yours is for the opposite.
It's for non-professional use. All right, let's start the show. Hey everyone, this is Luther Palmer.
And I'm Jobina Scott.
And welcome to One Episode Stand, a podcast where each episode we watch and discuss the series premiere of a new television show with no spoilers usually.
And then, like the Rolling Stones we are, we move on to the next show. Everybody's out here having one-night stands, but we are having one-episode stands.
We love them and leave them. We hit it and quit it. We tap it and scrap it, but we do it for you, the listeners, to help you figure out what shows to watch and what shows to skip. Jobina, how you doing?
I am doing well. I'm off work today, so it's a day of relaxation.
Nice. We have not recorded a midday podcast.
Oh, it's been a minute.
It has been early morning and late at night. and sometimes we blame like, oh, maybe I was just tired. So now we have no excuses.
No, if this one is bad, it's us.
Okay, so today we are discussing the 1619 Project.
Yeah, so this you can find on Hulu. It's a 1-hour docu-series, and it's powerful.
So what did you know about the 1619? Not just the show. Like, what did you know about the whole arc of this project and where it came from?
So tangentially, of course, I knew who Nicole Hannah-Jones was. I know that this started with the New York Times and her work over time to tell an accurate version of the history of African people in this country, starting with 1619 when we first got here, and the controversy that has since grew around this project. And of course, I work in education where books are being banned left and right. This is, of course, banned in public schools. So that is the context from which I know the project.
Oh my goodness. Have you read I guess it was initially a extended newspaper thing. Article. Have you read that?
No.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Shame. I should have.
Yeah, and I've been meaning to get around to it. I think there's a podcast. I guess is there a podcast?
I don't know.
I think there's a podcast, and I have not engaged with either, largely because I haven't had the space to, so I'm glad we chose it for this
Me too.
podcast because it kind of engaged me. So let me ask you this. If you were to make a documentary, what topic would you choose? Like if you were given carte blanche by the New York Times to tell a story, what story would you tell?
I think I would tell the story of adoption in America.
Oh, yes.
And look at the different types of families that were built. I would look at the racial constructs that impact adoption, how white babies are treated differently in the system, how we decided that white families were synonymous with good families and we let them adopt all babies.
Preach,
I think
Jobina.
I would do something on adoption. I think it would be good. You have now inspired me. That's my next project.
Right. As if you need another project.
I don't. Now, what about you?
And I was thinking about this. I would tell the story of pickup basketball.
Okay.
I saw this comedian had did like a TikTok video, and she was talking about like, can you believe that men just come together to play
Right.
basketball? They just pick teams. They don't have jerseys. They don't have uniforms. They all know who's playing. They all know the rules, and she was like fascinated by how this thing happens. And I organize a pickup basketball group, and
Okay.
it is there's a lot of things going on that create and cultivate the environment where older people, older guys who some played college basketball, some didn't play, but we all get together, we play, we have fun. There was a woman that had joined us this past week,
Wow.
and we were kind of commenting about how I don't know that there are women's pickup games
I don't think so.
where 10 women just come together and play basketball. So it's a man thing apparently. So I would do a documentary, and so many people have done it, and I think it would extend to like pick up racquetball and basketball and volleyball. Just like what is this culture of sports look like for older Americans?
And
So-
what does it mean for older men? Like, what are they?
Yeah,
What do they
yeah.
gain from the environment? I think that'd be a
because
good
people
one.
look forward to we look forward to it.
Yeah.
Like on Wednesdays, I wake up with a little pep in my step. Like, oh, tonight I'm playing ball. There's no trophies, there's no nothing, but it's exciting. All right, so 1619. So it's named that because that's the date that the first ship from Africa came, which was a year before the Mayflower landed. So we
Yes.
were here even before the Mayflower
That was a
came.
powerful point. We got here. We got here before.
Okay, so what would you say this show is about?
Well, this is the beginning of the unfolding of the story. She is contextualizing both her own personal life experiences with Blackness. She's exposing you to probably facts that you've not heard of, stories you've not heard of, and really beginning to tell the story of the impact both of African Americans on this country and this country on African Americans.
In this episode, she compared the struggle that Black people underwent to get to vote, and she compared that with the struggle that we have now, to maintain the vote and how voting rights are being stripped. So she kind of back and forth did this thing of here's what they went through then and here's how that looks so similar to what's happening now. How does the show look, sound, and feel?
It looks like a proper documentary. It's got, the look backs, the clips, the photos, the interviews, the testimonials, all of it. Like it feels like a classic documentary. And I think the pace was good. Like to your point, she does a good job with the narrative. She's connecting the past to the present. I liked it.
And she personalizes it too. She talks about her own story, her own father, and one of the first things she talked about is her father used to fly this flag, and she used to feel. What did she say? She used to feel. She didn't like it. She
was
used to wonder why.
Yeah.
Yeah, embarrassed. That's the word. So where are you with the flag? Where are you with the flag? Where are you with the national anthem?
I had a thought when she was talking about her father flying this flag, and I felt like her father was doing something radical that maybe we should all do. I'm not, like, there's no flag out in front of my house. But I thought, what if Black people who built this country claimed the flag and all the sort of patriotic emblems that the culture of power in this country sort of
Interesting.
holds on to for themselves? Like, what if we were all flying flags in front of our house?
Interesting.
So I don't have that relationship with the flag. But I could see where her father was coming from, because I feel like he was making a statement. It wasn't just about him having served in the military. He was saying, this is my country. This is my country. And why wouldn't I have a flag in front of my house?
Yeah, that's interesting. I've never flown the flag.
Never.
And I heard a comedian talk about how when you go into in situations where there's a lot of flags, it makes you nervous.
You start to get scared, right?
Which is so strange.
Get out of there.
It's so strange that the more flags, the more frightened a black person should be. Or the more aware, the more cautious a black person should be, not frightened. National anthem. Do you stand? Do you put your hand over your heart? Do you?
Yeah, I think it's just ingrained.
Kneel like Kaepernick.
I've not been kneeling. I also haven't been singing it really all that much. I've not been in a position to have to make a decision in quite some time. But when I have, I think just out of habit and grooming, like of course we did it in school. But one thing that I did learn when I was young, I went to a small private school and we were out in the country. We had all this land and we had a flagpole. So different students were assigned to raise and lower the flag and learn how to fold it. So I actually know how to properly fold a flag.
Yeah, we did that too in school.
Yeah.
So because I referee basketball, they do the national anthem before every game. So I'm always engaging with the national, and I'm always looking and seeing how people are engaging with it. So it's interesting. I put my hands behind my back. That's what I do. I think the hand over the heart is a little weird. I'm trying to think what else people do. I don't typically stand unless I'm already standing. Just as a fuck you to the people who get offended by that.
Yeah.
Right. I love America. Like I'm happy. I'm proud to be an American.
Right.
But I still want to say fuck you to the people who.
Right. The measure of your love of being an American is not whether you sing the song. Now, the song is also very difficult to sing. There's that. Like you can get yourself caught out there trying to sing the national anthem.
What do you mean it's difficult to sing? Because of the words?
Because it has really low lows and really and really high highs. Like it takes a special voice to sing it with integrity. Like
really?
It just does. Yes. I mean, have you not heard people butcher this song?
Well, I've heard people butcher the ABCs, so I don't.
This is true, and people do struggle with the words. Like I love the videos of people who are jacking it, like they don't have the words. But to me, it's just hard to sing because you have to be able to have a low register and a high register.
Interesting. I never knew that. I've never tried to sing it publicly.
Well,
right. So I never have known the intricacies of the national anthem. But, it does have some problematic words. I think there's like the third verse of the song.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Talks about slavery and things like that.
Really?
So people were saying that maybe the national anthem needs to get switched out. And, of course, all the pushback was, it's tradition and America and the flag and all these things. Okay. So let me up front say this. I'm gonna provide a quote from James Baldwin. His quote is, "I love America more than any other country in the world. And exactly for this reason, I insist on the right to criticize her perpetually."
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot of criticism of America in this podcast episode. We're going to be critical. But I think this is true for you too. Like we love America. Like we love being American. We don't want to move anywhere else. We don't want to, we don't think it's better anywhere else. But we're going to be critical of America, as this documentary was critical of America.
Yeah, as is the right of citizenship. Like, that's what he's saying. I love this country. Therefore, I critique so that it can be perfected. Like,
right,
yes.
Right. So, back to look, sound, and feel. There were some... So, this was... The 1619 Project is about history. It's a telling of historical fact. Right. So the documentary is like telling, here's what happened in this time. Here's what happened in this time. A couple of the things that came out. So there were some really sad moments. One was, she talked about how the county that her father was born into, she said Mississippi had the most lynchings of any state in America. And this county that her father was raised in had the most lynchings of any county in the state. And I looked it up. It's LaFleur County. there were 48 documented lynchings from 1877 to 1950.
Wow.
Now that's what, 75 years ish, and 48 lynchings. That's like one every other year, or like that's one every 9 months ish, and only documented. And of course, none of the lynchers went to jail, right?
No.
And I'm thinking, what impact on the community does that have, where every 9 to 10 months someone from your community is lynched publicly,
yes,
and nothing is done? Like, that is incredible.
It is trauma, to me, it's trauma on both sides. Like, you see some of the images from lynchings where families are sitting out there with their kids, and like they're all watching.
Oh,
like,
yeah, they sold postcards.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And sending it to friends across the country. Like, it's just unreal. But I cannot imagine the toll that it took.
And then she tells the story. She talks to this guy. His last name is Cotton. And he talks about his oh yeah, he was amazing. He was
such an awesome person.
And he talks about his experience in jail and being sent to a hard labor prison for trying to get people to register to vote. It was very moving.
But
At
then
one
when
point
he was describing he was strung up. Is that where you were going?
Yeah.
Oh my God. And
Yeah.
it was just horrifying to think. And when but the thing I loved about him was she was saying, it just saddens me to my core that happened to you. And he was saying, be happy that happened, because had it not, you would not be enjoying the freedoms that you have today.
Yeah. And he said, I'm still here. He's like, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess I was getting to, there are some profoundly sad moments, but the tenor of the show was a hint of positivity.
Yeah.
About how we can overcome, how we have overcome, and how there's more work to do, but we've come a long way. So it wasn't just a doom and gloom.
No.
Racism is bad. It was, here's the legacy of racism, but here's also the legacy of activism that is still happening to this day.
Well, even the voting rights activist, the older woman who was mentoring the younger woman, she said, the struggle is not as hard for me as it was for my ancestors. And I'm working so the struggle won't be as hard for you.
Right.
It's still a struggle, but that we're lightening the burden for the next generation.
Okay, more or less. What do you want to see more of or less of?
Oh, gosh, I want to see more of the whole thing. Like, it's just, I want to hear more of the accurate telling of our story in a way that just multi-dimensionalizes the people who can be so flattened out and so one-dimensionalized as slaves, former slaves. Like, I just appreciate the extent to which she is adding so much context and detail to the story of our people, both now and in the past. So I just want more of what she's putting down. I'm picking up. I want more.
What she's scratching, you're sniffing.
Hey, that's right.
Yeah, I would like to see more history, because that's undeniable.
Yes.
Right? Like, the history is the history. And it's funny because Trump, they quoted Trump in this piece. He's up there saying the 1619 Project and the crusade against American history is, what he say, is toxic propaganda. And it's like, well, this is history. Like, what? Like,
this
you
really happened.
point on the doll where you were touched. like point to the documentary what part of this you disagree with, because it literally is history. Like, the things that she brought out, and there were stories I'd never heard before about things that happened in history, like the whole Virginia, the mayor of that town of Virginia, like, just very interesting about how that helped spur the American Revolution.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I have friends who, and they are my friends, like, no doubt about it, they are my friends. And they always get sort of upset with me because they say, well, you're making everything about race, right? And I always say, if you think I make everything about race, wait till you hear about the forefathers of this country.
Right.
Because, boy, let me tell you, they
were caught up in that thing.
I mean, they made everything. Like, if you hate me for saying it, you will really hate George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, like, because they made everything about race. Like, you couldn't take 10 steps without being confronted with the impacts of race in their time. but they get a pass because
long deceased.
I don't. Yeah. Okay. Well, other thing I meant to bring up with look, sound, and feel. Where are you on the red hair?
I I appreciate her stepping into her style. Number one, I love her natural hair. Her hair is curly. It's pretty.
Yeah.
If she wants to do it a color that does not exist in kind of the natural human spectrum, I'm here for it. Do your thing. Like, she has a style and it's working for her. I would not do it myself. As you know, I just a year ago colored my hair for the first time ever, and it is not red, it's just a little brown. So I went way out there with a little brown. But I think she should do her thing. And I feel like there is like a certain age where women are trying to like develop a style that's young and fresh. And I feel like she's reached that point of like, how do I want to look to the world? And she wants to have fire engine red hair.
I love it. We're talking about the host, Nikole Hannah-Jones. She has fire engine red hair. I love it. I have a cousin who's my age, so I'm mid 40s. And I have a cousin who's my age, and she has purple hair, and I love it. I love, and it looks beautiful on her. She's a beautiful woman. The purple hair looks beautiful. I love the hair color.
Love it.
I love women, and a part of it is because I think they're also giving a middle finger to sort of respectability politics, and you're supposed to look a certain way, and older women aren't supposed to have purple hair, and they're just saying, no, this is what we want, this is what we like, and we're going for it. And I love that. I'm happy that women have the power to do that now. Okay, so usually we ask, like, what is the show really about? But that's, I mean, the narrative of the show is there.
We know what it's about.
So, yeah.
But really quickly, I want to ask you about hair. Just dial back to 10 seconds. Have you ever dyed your hair?
No, I haven't. I kind of want to. Like, there's a part of me. I feel like
you should. I feel like you could be blonde.
Blonde? Like, you think a blonde highlight or
no,
like
just
streak?
like do the whole, like,
or just do the whole thing blonde?
Do the whole thing. Yeah.
Really?
I think you could do it.
I wonder if there's an app that you can take a picture of yourself
sure there is.
and then change your hair color to do it.
I'm positive there is. Try it. I'm
gonna look for it. I'm gonna post it. We have an Instagram page. We don't talk about it much. We have an Instagram page. One episode stand podcast, I think. Yeah, I might post
post yourself blonde.
You don't not purple, not fire engine red.
No, I feel like there's that like I think you might have to go a little shorter, but that like short blonde thing that I think you could pull off. I think you got it.
I think one of the themes actually that came up, and it's something that she said in the end, which was, and I got to find the quote. She basically said, many Americans aren't actually pro-democracy. She said, if democracy means sharing power, then many Americans, and I think that's what, when I look at the 60s, or let's go back to the 40s, right? When Jim Crow was in its full swing.
Yeah.
America was not a democracy because a significant percentage of black people were not allowed to vote.
Yeah. They weren't
and when
represented
you think now
in any way.
about, they talked about how the numbers are changing, the demographics are changing, that white people will be in the minority, and they speculate that's why white people are trying to tinker with the voting to prevent as many people of color from voting, so that they can still have the sort of voting edge,
power.
Right?
That's right.
Which maintain power. And I think that really, and I think I was probably a grown adult when I realized that most Americans, although they will stand and put their hand over their heart, and talk about freedom and talk about home of the brave and say we're the world's greatest democracy, many Americans simply do not believe in democracy.
At least not for all. That's right.
Right. Okay, marry, kill, or one night stand.
Goodness, Sarah. I was wondering if we were going to do that with this particular episode.
I gotta do that. I'm gonna let you ask me first, and I gotta.
Okay, of course I gotta give you Nicole.
Oh, I would marry Nikole Hannah-Jones. Oh, she's beautiful.
Oh,
she's beautiful.
She's
and
phenomenal.
I love a big brain. And I like the red hair. Like I like her style. She wears Jordans. Like I'm all in on Nicole Hannah-Jones. Yes. Is she married? I don't know. Is she?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I'm gonna have to Google her to see what she's talking about. Okay, are you ready for who I'm gonna
no,
mention?
Not in the least bit. If you give me the mayor, governor, whoever from Virginia,
no, I'm giving you the Reverend Doctor Martin Luther King Jr.
Oh, Mary. Let me tell you something. Me and Dr. King, step aside, Coretta. I'm going to be the next Mrs. King. Oh,
You're
my goodness.
all in on Martin Luther King.
I am
Is he an attractive man or just because of his...
I mean, he's kind of an average looking guy, but I feel like his stature, like what he was doing. I can just imagine Coretta was like, now I am married to the most influential black man in America, possibly on the planet.
But that goes both ways, though, because he was gone a lot. She was raising the kids by herself.
Yes.
He was allegedly had some extramarital things going on.
Right.
His line of work put their family at risk, in danger.
Very much
so. There's probably some give and take, right?
There probably was. But I would imagine in that time, just the excitement of like, we are about to overcome. And my husband is leading this national effort.
Literally leading
the effort. Like just meeting with presidents. Like
Right.
Mary.
So sign you up. Sign me up. What about Malcolm X?
No, I don't want to kill him and I don't want to sleep with him. So I'm gonna have to take him off the list because I couldn't marry him. No.
There's no taking off the list.
No, I feel like he invited more danger to the family than I'd be ready for.
I will not hold you to answer the question since you already did MLK.
I've already picked my man.
but please believe, if Malcolm X is mentioned in any show in the future, I'm going to come back and force you. I'm going to force you to answer the question.
I will choose at that time.
Okay, I mean that's it. I think anything else we need to say about this show? I enjoyed it. Anything else?
I did too.
Okay, so the question we've all been waiting for: are you going to watch the show again, or was it a one episode stand?
Oh, I'm going to watch it again, and I want to figure out a way to like watch it with my oldest and like talk about it with her. Like I'm all in.
Right. Yeah. Me too. I'm gonna watch, and eventually, I think they finally produce an audiobook of the 1619 Project.
Good.
I think
I need to listen
I'll
to
go
that.
back and hit that. So definitely all in on 1619 Project. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you all for listening to One Episode Stand. If you enjoyed this episode, you can subscribe to the podcast to be alerted when new episodes drop. If you're listening on iTunes, please give us a rating. It helps other people find the show. The theme music is Freedom by Paradox Hip Hop. And we'll be back next time with another series premiere. Jobina, let's end on this. Every story has a moral. What was the moral of this episode?
So the moral of this episode is there is another story. You've been told one story about who we are and our contributions to this country. There is another story. There's so much out there that we don't know about what we've done and who we are as a people. And it's time to learn that story.
I think the moral for me is that we're going to dye our hair. We're all going to dye our hair. 2023 is the year that we're all doing it. We're all, including you. So I want you to find a color that you can just touch. No, you can't.
Purple, blue. No.
Just a streak. Like you could do a little bit of a streak.
It's going to be like way under the underside that no one can.
Don't be scared out here, Jobina. This is a women's empowerment issue
that
you need to be on the front line.
I need to be on the front lines. Okay.
Aren't you a feminist?
I am. My hair should be purple.
So then we're dyeing our hair. All right, everybody. See you next time.
Bye, everybody.